Hello, good morning, welcome everyone. My name is Santisteban Octavio. I'm a senior consultant in Autologica, and I would like to welcome you on our second webinar for this year. I'm really excited to see that very of you are joining us again from our last meeting on January, so that's great to see that you are engaged. Hopefully you're going to be joining us the full year with all these training and presentations. Let me tell you in advance that the next week we're going to be showing you we are going to be having another webinar in order to show you other new releases for the DMS. Today I want to focus on two major Autologica Analytics releases. You know, Autologica Analytics is our KPI platform especially designed for dealerships. And the two topics we're going to be talking about, we talked about them on January a little bit, but today we're going to be talking a little bit more. So I hope you get engaged on this presentation. And for those who missed our meeting on January, let me make a quick recap on the topic we talked about on that meeting. First of all, let me talk about Autologica Analytics. You know, it's analytics. It's part of the Autologica Sky DMS. With this platform, you're gonna be able to see how much did we sell, how much did we spend per sale. If we have liquidity, solvency, we can compare the sales with previous month. If we meet our targets or not. Those are the things we're going to be able to do working with Autologica Analytics. The latest updates we introduce for analytics are two new dashboards. One of them is Leaderboards. Leaderboards is a dashboard designed to work with several dealers and branch. You will find there several KPIs, and with those KPIs applied to each dealerships or to each stores, you're gonna be able to identify which one are the best dealerships on each KPI or which one are the best stores on each KPI. To have a ranking for that, and also to identify best practices on each store and try to replicate those best practices on other stores that are not having a good number for their KPIs. And also the other thing is related to commercial actions, which is a dashboard that will help you increase your sales. As you know, that alone doesn't solve our problems. Okay, imagine that you have to run a lab test and you have the results from the laboratory, but then you have to go back with the doctor and define a strategy to improve those numbers. Okay, it's the same. We need to use the data, give a meaning to it, and make it the foundation for our decisions. Before we begin, let me give you a quick reminder. You can use the section Q&A to type your questions there, and I will work with them at the end of this presentation. And for those who are joining us for the first time, let me talk about you Autologica. Autologica is a company that has been developing a dealership management and accounting software for 30 years. And at the end of the session, we can send you a lot of other information if you need it. Of course, I would like to know all the time at the end of the presentation, you can give us your comment, your feedback in order to improve this kind of meetings also. Have you ever felt frustrated when you find a problem with your car? You know that you have to think about, okay, I have to get an appointment with the dealership. I have to do something with my work because I won't be able to get to my work with the vehicle. I have to prepare myself to be without the vehicle for a few days. Okay, that's one way to see this thing that is happening. But another thing could be, okay, you found the problem, but also you found the opportunity to solve it before this escalates. Okay, this scenario applies to everything. Okay, if you can set aside from the the frustration that comes when identifying a problem, you can start working with the solution of it. Okay, it's the same situation with the dealership. You can see, okay, this customer is not buying vehicles from us anymore. He's not bringing his vehicle to the service anymore. He's not buying more parts from us. So besides that issue, that problem, you can start working to see how you can solve that problem. One of the topics we're going to be discussing today is how you can work proactively in order to engage those customers who are not buying things from you anymore. And as you know, you can focus, of course, on those customers who are not coming anymore to the dealership, but also it's quite important to work with those customers that are coming to the dealership, because you need to have a strategy to retain those customers and to get their loyalty. Have you ever heard about the survivor bias? Survivor bias, it's a cognitive bias that let us focus on the people or things that made it through a selection process while overlooking those who didn't. Okay, let me give you a quick example of this. What you are seeing now, it's an example during World War II. A lot of analysts study all the planes that return. They study the places that those planes were hit, and they made repairs and everything to give more strength to those areas, so to prevent damage for the planes. But they were focusing on the vehicles who return, but they missed that they were not focusing on the planes who didn't. So when they start thinking about them, they realized that they have to start giving strength to other areas, because those were the areas that will prevent the plane from falling. So I mention you this because it's great always to celebrate that you have a customer that is returning to the dealership, but you have to focus also, or don't lose those customers that are not returning to the dealership. You have to define a strategy for them. This brings us to commercial action. This is the name we choose to this dashboard, but basically this dashboard will let you sell more. How this work? Okay, let me break it down and I will give you 3 examples about it. Step number 1 will be to identify those customers who have stopped purchasing from you. You can identify those customers who stop buying, for example, oil or batteries or engine filters. Okay, also you can identify those customers who stop buying vehicles from you or stop bringing the vehicle to the service. Step number 2 will be, once you have the list of those customers, you can design a campaign to work with them. Also you can work with your marketing and sales teams to move forward with this campaign. Once you have, as I told you, once you have the list of the customers, of course you're going to be having email, phone number and everything, so you can contact those customers in order to bring them back to the dealership. And also step 3 will be to work with ABC reports and analysis in order to identify strategic customers. Okay, you know that ABC reports works with the Pareto law. So with ABC reports, you're going to be able to identify which one is the 20% of your customers that are giving you 80% of your sales. So those 20% are the customers that you have to work with, and you have to keep them coming to the dealership because they are giving you 80% of your sales, of the revenue. Let's look at this dashboard with a few examples. This is the commercial action dashboard, one of the many we have available. What we are seeing now is that you have a top 5 customers that they are giving you 40% of the sales. However, while the 4th and 5th are trending upward, the 1st and the 2nds are not. So this insight is crucial for you because you have to define an action for them. You can make a phone call, an invitation, and a special offer, because this is one of these customers are part of the 40% of the sales you're getting from the dealership. Also on the column on the right side, you're going to be having the last day they purchased from you, so you can identify if it's been too long since the last time they bought something from you. Let's look at another example. Here the goal is to identify customers who have stopped buying parts from you. At the top you can see filters, of course, that you can select any branch and also the period that you would like to analyze, or also one specific family for parts or spare parts. As I told you before, you can identify which one are the customers that stop buying from you only oil. because you want to make a campaign with that. So this will give you make campaigns exactly to those customers who bought, for example, oil. You could be more direct on that aspect. We can perform the same analysis for service. You can identify which one are the customers who stop coming to the dealerships to bring their vehicle to their machine for service. As you can see at the top, of course, you can identify per store, per dealerships, and also on the customer detail information, you will have also the information regarding the VIN number, because you know that you might have the same customer with 2 or 3 vehicles, so you will know exactly which one is the vehicle that has stopped coming to the dealership. And also you're going to be able to identify or select one specific job. For example, you know that there are jobs that has to be done every year, so you can select that job, run the analysis for the last 2 years, and you can identify for the first customers on that table. That means that they are the one who stop buying from you. You can start contacting them, because you're going to be having the email, the phone number and everything, and you can start working with your marketing team or the sales team in order to contact those customers. And now when it comes to vehicle sales or machine tractors sales, you know, of course, that the purpose is not to sell a vehicle every year, but let me give you an example. I remember that we were working with a customer, agro-industrial customer. He wanted to see, because the company, the OEM, releases a new tractor that works with 3 cylinders instead of 4. Of course, that working with 3 cylinders, they were consuming less gas. Okay, so they wanted to contact all the customers who had tractors with 4 cylinders, because they want to offer this new kind of tractor with 3 cylinders, because they're going to be saving money regarding fuel. So they ran this report for the last 5 years and more, and you can select, of course, a kind of vehicle. In this case, they selected a tractor, so they had a list with all the customers who bought a tractor from them for more than 5 years. And then once they have the list, they start working with the campaign in order to offer those customers the new tractor that will let them save money. And also another things that you can do or work with this information is, for example, also with parts. We did it, for example, with a customer. They had a lot of obsolete parts, and the parts guide asked, okay, I want to know which one are the customers who bought this kind of vehicles, because I can offer them this part that is obsolete. So once they ran this report, they got the list from all the customers who had one specific vehicle that can use that part that they have as obsolete, and then they start offering to those customers with a massive mail campaign that those parts were with a promotion. As you can see, the information allows you to make customer segmentation per business unit, per product, or within each business unit. For parts, you can select only for oil customers, or for vehicles, you can select only the customer who has one specific vehicle. As you can see, it's very you can personalize the information that you would like to get. And once you get the information or all the customer list that you want to work with, you can export that information, and then you can import that information into a CRM. If you work with Autologica Tracker, you can import those leads and then start working with the campaign in order to transform those customers, those potentials sales into sales. And of course, the purpose of this is that your conversion rate should improve, because you're not gonna be selling a promotion for batteries or to all the customers. You're gonna be sending a battery promotion for customers who bought a battery from you. So you're gonna be more direct on that aspect. Here I'm gonna give you a list of things that you can do in order to improve customer retention. So as you know, first of all, you have to make things easier for the customers. For example, if you have a tool that lets you let the customer to book an appointment 24/7, that's going to help you. You can work with Appoint 365 that we have in Autologica. Also, while giving the customer an appointment, you can ask the customer if he needs to get a taxi or something after he delivers the vehicle to the dealership. Also, there are some dealerships that are working with a pickup service for the vehicles. I mean, that sometimes the customer can't bring the vehicle to the dealership, so they are sending their technicians with a branch with a few parts, so they can perform the service at the customer location or the repair if it's needed. You can work with automatic tools that will send the customer their invoices. Okay, you can send commercial proposals to those customers with WhatsApp or Telegram. Okay, also you can share with those customer relevant information regarding marketing campaigns, working with commercial actions, for example. Of course, always is to make things easier and to keep in touch with the customer. Now, let me talk about the second panel that we wanted to share with you today, which is the leaderboard panel. Okay, while our previous strategies were focused on customers, with these panels we're going to be working with internal information. Okay, with the teams, the branches, the departments, the different dealerships, if you have several dealerships for the same economical group. As you can see, leaderboards it's a powerful tool that generates ranking based on key performance indicator. For example, you're going to be having rankings for which one are the best stores or branches regarding sales, the best stores regarding the absorption rate, the best stores regarding return over sales, the best stores regarding the obsolete parts that they have on their inventory. I'm talking about parts. Okay, so imagine that you can see on one dashboard exactly which one are the best on each KPI that you want to make an analysis, and also not only identify which one is the best on each practice, also that you're going to be able to identify which one is the best on one KPI, one thing, and also if they are the best on that KPI, they are doing something, and if they are doing something, you have to analyze what they are doing in order to share that information with other branches, with other stores that they are not working like them. Also, in addition to this ranking, you're going to be working with scoring. The scoring, let me give you a quick briefing about that. Is we are going to identify which one is the best, for example, store on each KPI, and those who are the first on each KPI will get numbers. We are going to do the math. We are going to sum those numbers, and those who get more numbers, more scoring, they are going to be the first on this scoring level. So while seeing the scoring, you're going to be able to see which one is the best store based on the different KPIs that we have analyzed. Take a look at this screen I want to share with you and start thinking about which key indicators you would like to analyze. You will have, as you can see, all on the left side, for example, you will have the stores, and each column will be a different KPI. So from left to right, you're going to be able to analyze all the KPIs together. You can see, for example, if one store is the best on sales, but maybe that store is not the best on return over sales. So also, as you can have this information as a table, you can sort by one specific column. For example, okay, I want to see from the best to the worst absorption rate, so you will be able to click on that column, and then everything will be organized based on that information that you have selected. As you know, you're going to be having several KPIs, but of course it's always to start, instead of trying to work with all of them at the same time, you can focus and you can select one of them and start working in order to improve that KPI. Let me give you an example. We had a customer who selected, for example, the dead stock inventory. They have 4 parts. They had started working with several actions in order to improve that KPI, and they did it, as you can see it. The actions they did were, for example, regarding parts, they have to start working when they wanted to buy with working with the statistics instead of buying okay, I want to buy this because I want to. No, don't do that. You have to work with the reports that you have that will help you identify which one are the parts that you have to buy. Of course, based on that, they work with automatic suggestions orders we have in Autologica that, based on the history of the parts and based on the customer back orders and supplier back order, automatically we will propose you which one are the parts that you have to buy, the quantity I mean. They work with the campaign for the obsolete parts. As I told you before, they identify which one were the customer who had vehicles that they can sell those obsoletes that they have in stock, and they started a campaign, so they started to sell those obsolete parts, and they were removed for their inventory. Also, they work with the, in Autologica you have what we call parts activity that will let you know, okay, this part is on this store is like a live part with a good level of sales, and then you have that this part is dead, is part of the dead inventory because you are not selling this part from the last 12 months on one specific store. So instead of buying parts from the OEM for the store that needs to sell, they start transferring parts from one store to another, because also you have in Autologica reports that will let you identify these situations. Even though you can have several quantities of the parts, those quantities will be specifically identified on each store with their activity, if they are with the live activity or semi-obsolete activity or obsolete activity or dead activity. You're gonna have all that information so you can take actions on that. So now look at how much we can achieve with just two panels that we just show you: leaderboards and commercial actions, working with analytics, which is part of Autologica SkyDMS software that we have. As you can see, this is a really powerful data, and with that powerful data you can take several actions in order to sell more and in order to make internal analysis for leaderboards. Okay, thanks once again for joining this presentation. Hope to see you on the next webinars we are planning to do. And if there are any questions that I forgot to answer, don't worry, I will answer them by email. Okay, thank you. See you on the next one.